Good evening to my fellow Liberians. It is another very wonderful day. We want to bless God for everything that God has done for us. First of all, I would like to apologize to the publics for not little bit being on time. So I have an appointment at the hospital, so I make it necessary to go there. So the schedule was at 11:30 for the stop making yourself unhappy. That's our theme today. I think you guys, every one of you guys saw the theme today, which we're talking about, stop making yourself or stops making yourself unhappy or stop making yourself to not be happy. You have to make yourself happy. But the topic is posted. Sometime it is there for you to remember, and we will not, try to, because you already saw the post in 2 or 3 hours before I came on the show. So first of all, I want to encourage every one of you that are watching me here today. That's the first phase of our broadcast here. You need to spiritually back yourself. When I say spiritually backing yourself, it means like you don't have to depend on somebody else's to pray for you. You have to have the faith and the belief. The Bible says if you can have a faith like a little tiny, like a mustard seed, whatever you ask God, He can do it for you. Since I came from Liberia, I've been feeling some fever, chilly in my body. And I don't want you guys to believe me. I want you guys to try it for yourself and do it. If it works for you, that's good. But from my standpoint, I believe in myself that anything that I command, anything that I take and ask God for, He can do it for me. So those of you that have fever, that are sick in the evening, you have fever, you have malaria, you feel cold, you feel sick, just give it a try. That is my prophetic message to you before we go to our broadcast. If you have a bottle of water in your house, a pure drinking water, believe that water, you can pray over it. Whether that is malaria, filarial fever, or body pain, pray over that water and concentrate it and say, God, this water that I'm praying over, by the precious blood of Jesus that was shed on the Calvary to cast away our sins, to sanctify and cleanse us from every disease and sickness, I command that this water should be used as a purification or sanctification in my life. And that water, pray over it from the deepest of your heart. And if you drink that water, you will feel like you will start, you will start sweating and you will pee enough. And that night, the malaria, the filarial, the whatever you think about will go away from you. Believe in yourself and have faith. I don't want to tell anybody, say, oh, call David Cochrane and say, let me pray over your water. I just want yourself to do it. Do it. Have self-confidence in yourself and believe in God that whatever that you pray over, whatever that you think, God said what? Ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. In your sin, in your whatever you think that you are not qualified, you are sinner, you are fornicator, you are just, God say, it is my promise that if you ask, you shall what? It shall be given. If you seek it, you shall find. Believe in it, and you shall find it. I do not want you to what? Be in your homes, sickness, fevers, and all those things are taking over you, and you are waiting to go online to call pastors, reverends, deacons to pray for you. Take that opportunity, take that advantage, and do it by yourself. I have tried it many times, and those things work for me. If it can work for me, it can work for you. So, thank you. Let God bless you. I want you to stay with God in everything that you do. Believe and trust. He is our comforter. He is our rescuer. He's everything. There are battles that we cannot fight, but He alone can fight. There's a songwriter that say, God, you got it all. You got it all. Don't struggle yourself. Be a person, be an individual that say, God, please help me with this. Speak for yourself. Stop embarrassing people. As long by your faith, I shall remove the mountain. By the faith, I shall make the sea to roll away. So I want to leave you there. I want you guys to come on now. The topic that we have today is you have to make yourself happy. You have to make yourself happy. Joy, happiness belongs to you. But if you cannot make yourself happy, and you think you can live in that life of loneliness, discouragements, and frustrations. I know some of you, they say making yourself happy, it might be like, you in some type of relationship and relationships is not working, and you got to get out there and have fun with your friends or hang out and maybe do whatever sexual things. No, that's what we are not talking about. Today we want to say, stop making yourself to be unhappy. What we are trying to say here today, this evening, this afternoon, is about holding yourself to what you think that can make you happy. And some of the things that we will be talking about is like people today in the diaspora, people that are in America today, they take away their own joy. They take away their own happiness, and they feel that they can find happiness with social media, on their TikTok, on their Instagram, on their video games. No. Those places cannot find you happiness, because our God in Genesis, He said that He found that man was lonely. Are you guys with me? He said that he found that man was lonely, and he created a partner to that man. What is the reason that God felt that man was so lonely? Man was so boring. It means that when the Bible talk about man was lonely, that means the man cannot feel the presence of somebody through communication, through sharing phones, through sharing feelings, through communicating on things that stretch them out and this and that. That's why God said, I cannot make a man alone to be alone, because he might be lonely, he might be stressed, he might be frustrating, he might be unhappy. Joy might be taken away from him. So God created a woman. When God created a woman, he said, well, you are a helper. You are like a happiness attached to the man, to make the man feel happy, to feel good, to consult, to verify, to give, brief experiences. So those things, those interactions are the one that make human being to be happy. These are the interactions that make people to be happy. So if you are a human today, if you do not have somebody to communicate with, to confirm in, to share ideas, to have joke, to have fun, that means your joys and your happiness has been taken away. That's what God saw, and God said no. And then to what? Make a woman for a man, so that man can feel the happiness or the joy that he or she deserves. But today, I want to tell you people, we carry on a survey. And this survey, it tells us that many women in the diaspora, they took away their own joy and their happiness. Many women. The women you see today that are on Facebook, that are complaining, talking, going Facebook Live, they are the results of their own problems. Because the book of Genesis, it is a critical book. And I always tell people that people did not understand that Genesis. The book of Genesis have to be revisited and have to be placed back in the churches, and they need to be educated by pastors, by reverends, by deacons, to interpret it to our women, to our men, to our society, so that the peace that God persuaded in the garden, because after God has made the heaven and the earth, and he placed men and women in the garden, he said it's a place of joy, happiness, peace. But what happened to us that we are not getting the peace as a man, as a women, that we are not having today? What is the ground rules of not? Because God pronounced peace in the Garden of Eden, joy and happiness. But why are we not possessing those happiness and peace? And we have just taken away our own joy. We have taken away our own peace. A majority of our women in the diaspora today, they pretend to be happy. They pretend to be Like they have something to make them happy, but they are not happy. Trying to find happiness on TikTok, on social media, in everything that you think that you can find. But you missed the mark. Because the book of Genesis said, when God saw that the man was lonely, oh God, the Bible is good to understand. And he created woman from the rib of the man from the side. So what does God want? God wanted the woman to put trust in the man, to believe in his man, to share idea, conversations, problems, good communications, and final solutions. But today, there are women that abandon the words of Genesis. They think that they can go out there and find the happiness. They think they can go out there and find the joy. The happiness that you want today, it should come from what? Your partner. The happiness should come from your partner. Because God concentrated it. God ordained it. God agreed upon it. That he want to put two people together that with their understanding, with their communication, with their discussion, they shall find peace, joy, and happiness. But we, the third world today, we find it difficult to understand what the book of Genesis said. And many of us, we are working. We got women that are working. They are not happy. We got men that are in this diaspora. They're doing whatever, but they have nobody to talk to. They have nobody to communicate to. They have nobody that they can share idea to. They have nobody that they can confront in, consult in. And as a result, their happiness has been taken away from the homes, from the marriages, from relationships, from friends. You can do it all. You can work the money you want to work. You want to earn what you want to get. But your joy and your happiness, it should not be stolen from you. Because God wanted it. And he said, I will make a woman to join the man so that they can share idea, feelings, communications, and everything, so that they can maintain their happiness and live the life they want to live. But majority of men deviated. Majority of women say, no, I do not want that joy. I do not want that happiness. And most of them today, they are working, but they are working with stress. Most of them today, they are earning money, but they are not happy. They want to, it is just the reality of life. Whatever that God put in place, if men want to defy it, or woman want to defy it, it is a problem. So today, I want to bring to you this analysis, this critical thinking, that some of you today, what you're going through, what you're feeling right now, is because you want to disobey God. And because you want to disobey God, you become lonely. But God said, I do not want you to be what? Lonely. I need your joy. I care about your joy. I care about your happiness. But how many women or men are happy in America today? The country that we're in, women are unhappy because of the lack of communication. They don't want to honor the union that God put them in. They feel that they make the money equivalent to the man. They don't want to. They have created another consultants outside their marriages. The TikTok, the Facebook has become their what? Their partners. You think, can you live without happiness? No. If technology could have made people happy, when God created the heaven and earth, God would think about a toy like a computer game and say, look, since I have made man, and man have no partner or consultants, I will make this game so that the man can play, or I will make this network or social that so that man can be able to have joy and peace in those things. But he said, I will make a partner to the man. So, in your own analysis, what is the responsibility of the partner that you have? Is to what? Trust, believe, consult, talk, have fun, do things to the man that will make the man happy. But if you are not, you are taking away your own joy. Because men, in definitions, men are people that really need people to communicate with. Because men have the burden of sustainability. Because as men grow younger, the theory that said, as long as men begin to take on responsibility, the men minds have been changed to development, to future planning, dedications of sacrifice have rise up in the heart, challenging of failures and disappointment and mockery, etc. and etc. It is what is in the man's head. The man is thinking that his place in our competitions Because the man had to grow the family. The family got to be structured. The man got to think about children that are coming up, grandchildren. So man minds is ready for what? Development, prosperity, and advancements. In the other world, we say escalations. So men need a partner of comfort or consultants to relay his goal, so that the goal of the man should functions and bring reality or deliver success or prosperity in the family. So men need, at the stage of development, men do not need noise. Men do not need too much of talking. Men do not need disconnections of communication. Men does not need separations of mindset. Man does not need those things. So the reasons many women are trying to suffer from relationships is because they don't read the purpose of man. They don't read the purpose of man. Woman, you are a helper. You are like a, what we call it, enforcer. You are like a part of ideas to what? To motivate, to encourage, to give joy, happiness, to play a significant role in development, in sound thinkings, and encouragements, and so on. But if you are not playing your role as a woman, if you think that you can only be there to shout, to eliminate or immediate, to discourage, to separate, to do things by yourself, to go ahead and carry your own road, it is a problem for you. And if a man have such a partner that is so communicative, encourage for the encouragements, know when, how the man feel, what is the man goal, what is the man second step, what is man plan B. If those engagements are not holding, you the woman, you have no choice, you have no chance of holding to that relationship, because it is the stage of a man. There are certain stage of a man. The man focus is built on facing the reality and the solutions. So if you are a woman, if you are not the solution, if you are not the solution to the problems, if you are not the encourager, if you are not a comforter, if you are not a persuader, if you are not a dreamer, then man's focus is straightforward. Because there are certain stage when the man into that stage, the man does not want to waste his time. For the women at the age of 60, 70, there are some desires of fun that you think you can have, and you can be pleased, and you can be happy, and you can do anything. But there are certain stage of a man that man does not care about what is the enjoyment of sexual reality or sexual forms or whatever. No. So we have two categories. That's why when God created the heaven, he made man first. So when God made man first, he gave man a lot of responsibility. He said man will have dominion, man will have power, man will have a lot of thinking, man will be a man of our creativities, man minds will create, man minds will be taking on discoverings, new things. So in that sense, so there was a huge burden on men, on concentrations and development and growth. And all these things come with stress and what? Pressures and other things that are components of those hard tasks that God placed on men. So, and God said, no, but I do not think that it will be necessary. If a man can take those taxes and put it on his head and do not have somebody to what? To comfort, to share with, to share idea. It might be a delinquency on man's part to accomplish these goals. You see that? So he said, but then I will make a woman. But today, men and women, they don't understand Genesis. They feel that they can do it without the man. And they feel that they can do what they want to do. But at the end result, what it take away from you? It take away happiness and joy. I want to tell you. It take away our happiness and joy. First of all, when you think about marriage, if you get your fiance, what you think about? You consider him to be your what? The way you joke with your brother, the way you play with your sisters, the way you play with your father, the way you play with your mother, the way you play with your friends. You have 5 things in mind when you are getting into a relationship. You know, the pastor cannot actually educate you on that. But when you are taking a man, you take that man to be your sister. To be your brother, to be your father, to be your uncle, to be your nephew, to be your friends, in whom you can find every happiness and joy, no matter how it takes. If I am taking a woman, I take that woman to be my mother, my sister, my cousin sister, my mother. Because if you choose a relationship, if you take your woman to be your friend, your sister, your mother, your this and that means in her, you find all the happiness. You cannot go out there and find happiness in another person. You cannot go out there and find a joy in another person. Your joy and happiness is built in your relationship. Consider the person to be your sister, your mom, your look, everything in that category. But today, we have people that don't understand what it means to be in love. If you say I love someone, that means in that person, you might be able to find what we call joy and happiness. How does joy and happiness come to what? Come to Florentius. It comes to Florentius by what? Consulting one another. If you guys can consult one another, if you guys are doing things together, your communications will not be different from my communication. Our communication will not be different from your communications. If the communications have become different, if you have somebody else that you consult in out there, and she has somebody else that she consult in with different idea, that's a problem. Brothers and sisters, this is Liberia reality / motivative. I want to make this video very popular so that people will understand that their joy and happiness have been taken away from them by their own misunderstanding of the book of Genesis, where the Bible said, God said, if I found that man was lonely, and I decided to create a planet, what are the responsibility of the planet to that person? A planet is somebody that you guys have a common goal. Common goal. If you have a common goal, you have the same mind. The communication are the same. You cannot have a consultant out there or friends or somebody you can trust, because you will trust in your, like every communications about what you do, what you don't do will be discussed between you and your partner. If those things are lack up, separations, misunderstanding, divided homes occur, because she has a goal, you have a goal, and she can consult you with her goal. and you cannot consult her to your goal, what is the bigger picture you found? Critical thinking skill. As the result, what occurred? Separation of what? Of understanding. Separation of development. Separation of feeling. Separations of consultants. Separation of solutions have been split. Because what? The voice, the conversations have been overtaken by a third party. Because you and your partner are first and second. But where there is third party, the communication in the house, it becomes scarce. The communication with the husbands is low. The communication with the wife is low. So what happened? Where there is no conversations, there is no solutions. So then, what come out? Divisions that attract feelings. Because communication is the key. God did not make a mistake to say that man is lonely or man is boring. So now, what do we find in so many relationships now? If the communications is not holding, separation of power. That is why America fight for their communication. They monitor every communication that go outside and come into America, because it is the key of our power. Communication is the key of power. If the communication in the house is divided to different stations, to different power hall, home is not settled. Feelings will decrease. Attractiveness never go away. Boringness will come. Loneliness will follow. And don't careness will arise in the relationship. So it is so important that we need to understand that sometimes we take away our own joy. We take away our own happiness. If you feel like you will be with me, and you have your Facebook, you have your TikTok to give you happiness, that's not what the book of Genesis said. The book of Genesis said that I make woman to take away the loneliness, to bring joy, happiness into the heart of the man. But women today, they don't understand Genesis. They feel that they have got it all. They feel that they have grabbed best communication. They feel that they are on top of what they think they are on top. But they cannot deviate from the Bible. He said, the Bible said, those things cannot bring you happiness. Your happiness is your partner. Your happiness is your communication with your partner. Your happiness is your consultance with your partner. Your happiness, your joy will come from the partnership that I, God, put together, that I, God, constituted, and says, this is your joy and this is your happiness. But we today want to deviate from it and think that we can find it. So as a result today, many men, let me tell you something. This is Liberia reality. We speak from experience. We speak from verification. We speak from consultants' point of view. We speak from interviews. We speak from critical analysis point. We speak from analysis point. If you cannot communicate well, if you cannot trust, communicate, believe that the man was the first man made, and you just a helper, if you cannot confide or confront in the man, if you cannot really have conversation with your man, you are making yourself unhappy. You are making yourself unhappy. You are making your marriage unhappy. You are making your children unhappy. You are making your generation unhappy. Because communications, it is a freedom of joy that is given to all nature. That's why God made animals that understand their friend animals. That's why God made human and God made language. Because without communication, without understanding, the battle of this life, so without the communications, things will not be in place. So if we want to be who we want to be, in any relationship or in any organization, we have to understand that this is the principle of life. So the women of this time, of our time, they are the problems for their unhappiness. They are stealing their own joy. They are stealing their own happiness away. Because there is nothing, I believe, that can make you happy if you are not understanding what God put together for us to understand and live by. The life that we find ourselves into today, it is a life of solutions, consultations, communications, encouragements, and so forth. So if you are not seeing yourself in those categories, that means you cannot get happiness. You might pretend to choose other happiness, such as social media, TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp, or videos on YouTube. You might be joking. Never and ever delay yourself. Do not steal, do not take or steal your own happiness, because you cannot find it anywhere. You cannot find it anywhere. You got to be smart, and you got to understand it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to go for today. But stop taking away your own happiness. Respect, understand, believe, trust, confirm in your partner by taking your own way, by taking your own things, doing it. It's not going to help you. Because happiness is what you need. If you need it, if a place where you see yourself, if those things are lacking, it's better to be honest to yourself and walk away from that relationship or that partnership. Because pretending to stay or be there and think that you're making yourself happy with social media, whatever, it is horrible. It is painful. So I don't want you to be that type of individual. It can happen that if you lack of those things, it ruins your marriage, it ruins your relationship, even your business, whatever you do, if you lack of communications and trust and collaborations, where you have a consultant outside the relationship, you might be leading to a deficit. So I want to leave this video with you guys today. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Think about it and do your own study. God bless you.